Hello everyone, it's Just a Dad. Today I'm going to show you how to do all the maintenance on the brand new Roborock Curv 2 Flow Robot Vacuum Cleaner. So in this video, we're going to show you how to do all the maintenance, replace the filters, empty the dust bag, clean the dirty water tanks, clean the base station, go through the sensors on the robot. The robot has been at my house for over 3 months. It's got 101 working times, 184 hours, 82,000 square feet cleaned. It's done an amazing job. Now, unfortunately, there's not a lot of generic parts out. I bought this generic kit from Everwrong. It's not very good, so it's not going to be a recommend for me. The OEM parts are kind of expensive. There is no kit. You got to buy them individually. So I got filter, mop roll. This is very important. Very important. Dust bags are important. Side brushes. So I'll put links to all of these in my show description notes and on my website. My website's the best place to go to find all the maintenance parts that I recommend, the tools that I'm going to be using in this video, justadadapproved.com. On there, you'll also see where I've reviewed over 200 robot vacuum cleaners. And in the next video, we'll see if this one gets the Just a Dad sticker seal of approval. Spoiler alert, it definitely is. But in this video, we're going to go over all of the maintenance, and I'm going to show you how to reset the maintenance reminders in the app. So the first thing up here is we've got the dust bag. Now, this is one thing I wish was redesigned. The dust bag for this is not really made for it. It doesn't fill it all the way up because of the design. So that's kind of a downfall of it. So you may have to replace the dust bag a little bit more often, but that thing's completely full. We've got clean water tanks. There's a little bit of maintenance to do in here. There's a lot of maintenance to do in the dirty water tank. This got a little dirty around here. That's just because it's working so good. Clean water tank, you may get some calcium buildup. There is a filter at the bottom of that, so you may have to clean that with vinegar, but this one's doing a pretty good shape. We'll take this to the sink and get this all nice and clean. And I got a cleaning hack. If you watch when I'm cleaning this, I'll show you a little cleaning hack. Now, the one thing I love about the Flow is the base station. I love this tray. Go in here, grab the tray. We're going to take this to the sink. There's really nothing else you got to clean in here. I mean, I could wipe that down. Looks like maybe a little bit, but that's it. We're going to change the dust bag, take this tray to the sink and clean it. Now let's go over to the robot. We do want to turn it off. Hold the power button for a little bit.
Turning off.
Yeah, those lights will turn off. Now we're safe. Okay, I got a dust-free cloth, lint-free cloth. We got to wipe off some sensors. Okay, that's a very important sensor. Make sure there's nothing around the LiDAR. Wipe up here. Now you may notice there are some bumps and scrapes on this, and this thing is kind of heavy, so be careful. But there's a setting inside the app that I had to change. I have a separate video on it, but after I changed the setting to where it doesn't get as close to stuff, it doesn't get as scraped up as, but that setting when it really gets close to stuff, and it got kind of scraped up. So there's another sensor right there. We have a dirty water tank. We're going to press this button, release this. We're going to take this. That's really dirty. Take that to the sink, clean it. Everything looks pretty good around here. Let's take the lid off here. We've got a dustbin. Even this is a little dirty. I'll clean that too. But you should be cleaning this every couple weeks. Mainly the dustbin filter. We're going to, sorry. It's not wanting to come off. There. There's the filter. I did clean this after a couple weeks. This is the main thing that's reusable. So pinch this little tab right here. And we're going to take this to the sink and clean it and wash it. I recommend getting an extra spare one of these so that you can have a clean one ready to go. Now, this one I have not touched for 3 months. It has sucked up some water, but actually it hasn't done too bad of a job for not being clean. This is very easy to clean. I just haven't cleaned it. So we'll clean it today. Now, the mop roller may not look like it needs replaced, but it does. And I should have replaced it after 2 months. Press this little button right here. We're going to lift it up and pull it out. What I found is my robot started dripping when it was mopping, like when it would make a turn. And what I associated that with was the mop pad is going bad. So definitely I'm going to replace this, even though again, it has kind of worn out a little bit, but it definitely needs replaced. Now there is this, we want to be careful. That's an electric motor. It does tilt up out of the way, but we don't want to get this wet though. This here, this is a little tray. You're going to scraper. You're going to pull it And then we're going to go clean it. It's really dirty. We'll have to wipe this down a little bit. I've also got a tool here we'll use. Again, on my website, justadadapproved.com. This thing works great. All right, we still have some sensors. This one, these are little glass, these are Cliff sensors, wipe them down. That's every 30 hours. I typically let mine go longer. This wheel is spinning free. You can pop that out, be careful, that's really fragile, but my side brushes actually are not too bad. I was expecting them to be missing quite a few more, so I'm gonna let the side brushes go, but you would just get a screwdriver and unscrew that and change out the side brush. They don't extend or anything. Drive wheels look in good shape. All right, let's pinch these tabs, rotate this. We're gonna go clean this, and we're gonna clean these. These do really good for pet hair. That's the split brush dual roller design, but they do get extremely dirty, as you can see. But they can be cleaned. Pull them off this thing here. Just rotate and bring it out. We're gonna wipe this down. We want to be very careful. There's a membrane right here. We do not want to damage that. That ruins the robot. So we're going to wipe that, but not damage it. There is a carpet sensor here. Mine is relatively clean. You can get a very gentle cloth. You can stick it down there. Don't damage it. Just very lightly wipe it a little bit. We don't want to poke it, do anything that could harm it, but it may need cleaned once in a while. Okay, let's take all this stuff to the sink and give it a good cleaning. Almost forgot the dust bag. Let's pull this up and keep pulling, and it's going to come out. I should have changed this. That is full. We're going to cut that open. Yep. So I get asked the question, do robot vacuum cleaners actually work? Well, let's cut this dust bag open now. I don't recommend doing this, but let's see. Wow, this thing is jam-packed full of stuff. So robot vacuum cleaners do work. Lots and lots of hair. Again, we even got peanut chunks, some labels, hair pet, and some, big chunks, cereal. But look at the hair. Look at the dog hair. Wow, even big popcorn kernels. And lots of fine dust. Again, with the design of it, it does leave a little bit desired, like it doesn't fill it all the way up. There's the early testing we do at the studio, and here's the at-home test. Wow. Robot vacuum cleaners actually do work. Okay, let's make sure this flap is down, make sure it's not getting in the way. There's a micro switch, so we want to put this in the track right here, and then make sure that's nice and flush here, and that's down. And again, this is a little bit of a design flaw, I think. The bag needs to be redesigned. So you got to kind of put half of it in there, down farther, and then the other half is what fills up. So only about half of it fills up. That's pretty much with all Curv robots. There's about 5 of these Curv base stations. And then if this, make sure this is nice and flush. If you don't have something installed correctly, this will not sit. This has to sit flush. Now, I'm not sure how much of this dirty water tank comes apart, but it looks like this part, I had it off earlier. Okay, just kind of pull straight up. This part comes off, might be something we clean there. Not there, not there. I think, this part comes out. It's a little tricky to get out, but so it looks like 3 parts we can take apart. This is kind of intricate, so we got to be careful with this. Now, all these tools and stuff I'm showing you, you can buy off my website, justadadapproved.com. There's the Shark Vac Mop. That's the solution I put in the clean water tank. This is the $5 brush from Walmart. I've got a link to it. It just works perfect for all of this. Scrubbing bubbles. I've even got a cleaning hack. We're going to clean the dirty water tank. But at the end of the job, and every time I empty my clean water tank, I put an Effordent or Polyant denture cleaner tablet inside the tank to prevent odor. Those things stink really bad. Again, justadadapproved.com is going to be the best place to go to. Let's get some of this stuff soaking a little bit. Especially like these. The dirty... These things Need to soak. You can even use the Dawn. I've used this. This works really well. Getting some of that tough grime. Make sure it's in a ventilated area. And you can find, if you're ready to purchase all the parts and stuff, off my website, justadadapproved.com. So let's get started. This is the most satisfying job of this. Here's the filter. Again, reusable. And you should be doing this every couple weeks. It didn't look that dirty, but it is. But it needs replaced about every 3 months. But you gotta let that dry. Now let's get the world famous Just a Dad brush, and it just works great for leverage. Now I'm gonna have to scrub that. I can get in there, those little ports. This is gonna require some elbow grease. I did let it go pretty long. All right, I'm just kind of doing a quick thing. The dirty water tank, again, this brush just works great for that. This outside gets really dirty. That's just how well this tank is. See, that had a little bit of an odor to it. I want to be able to clean this. Some robots, you can't clean their dirty water tanks are not accessible, and I don't like that. That actually had a little bit of an odor to it. That I can clean that odor. That's what I want. Little parts that were in the tank. These will surprise you the most. These get so dirty. And these can really be freshened up because they're kind of expensive. But once in a while they will start tearing. You will just have to replace them. Don't lose that little part. I think parts will be extremely hard to find on this. Okay. Whoops. The tray. I've cleaned this once at my house. Take this off. So I'm going to really get in there with some elbow grease. Yep. Okay, parts are all clean. This was the first time I had to grab a scrubby. Some of that dirt was really on there. So here's the Effort-In tablet. Every time I empty my dirty water tank, I throw one of those in there to help prevent odor. This is probably the #1 tool I recommend. Just a little blowgun, charges with USB-C. Now this is going to require a little bit of soap I put on the rag. May need to soak for a little bit. Now don't get any water inside the robot. There's that membrane. We do need to clean it, but just be careful with it. A little bit of dirt right here. Earlier we had that dirt right here. Be careful with the motor. We had that. This is relatively clean. I mean, this could be extremely dirty, but it's not. Just needs a simple wipe down. There's where the water comes out. Take your time with this. Now, if you're like me and you're always in a hurry, you can hurry the process up of drying this stuff off. It is best. See, that has a lot of felt. Let this dry in the sun. But I have got them pretty dry with this. It does work. Same with you want this pretty dry. Put it over a heat register. Let it dry in the sun. That cleaned up very nice. Okay, new part, new filter, everything else I'm able to reuse. Again, the side brushes didn't need changed. So now it's time to put everything back together. Everything's dry. Let's start here. We got to put this, be careful of this float. This is actually very important. All this is important stuff. This didn't clean up as good as I'd like, but so there's a little tray, little track, should click into place. This has to move up and down. There's your tray. You simply just slide it in. Make sure it's nice and flush. So I saw something here that maybe bothered me a little bit. Let's take this duct off. I'm hoping it's nothing, but I did see kind of some dirt and debris. Again, this is the bottom of the robot. I saw something, so let's take a look. Loosen those screws. Not too bad. Okay, I was expecting a lot worse. A little bit of debris, looks like a corn chip. So this is definitely recommended during the maintenance. Now there's a little seal. This is very delicate. Ooh, I don't know. I want to wash it, but there's this little seal. Thankfully, that goes right into the dock. That goes up to the dust bag. I'll get a flashlight. No, it's fine. This is because the robot does such a good job of mopping, it vacuums up some water. That's why this was a little dirtier than normal. So then when it has water in it, it gets auto emptied into this area. And that's why you see that. I was able to wash this. The seal stayed in place. I thought it would come out, but I was able to just give it a quick rinse. It cleaned up really nice. Get you a wet towel. We're gonna wipe this now. We want this to dry. Otherwise, if you do it doesn't auto empty, it's just gonna get more dirt in it. But I'm glad they gave us that access panel. I almost didn't do that. I rarely ever do this, but I could see some dirt when I put that in, and that was kind of bothering me. So. I'll even put a link. This is a little Walmart screwdriver that I love. It charges with USB-C, that's why I like it. I could just barely see, this seemed dirty right here. So, dirty water tank first. 3 parts I took out, so let's see if I can get it back. All right, this one, there's like a half moon cutout so that it goes that way. That's a filter. You know, I wonder if they're ever going to give us like parts. Like this probably should be replaced, I would think, but I didn't see it. Push that on. Take this. That's the suction port that goes down there. Nothing else. Okay. That was a little hard to clean, but just push it straight down till it kind of clicks into place over here. Close this. This part, trying to figure out this. I could have scrubbed that a little bit more. This was a little hard to clean. Dirty water really sits on here and gets on there. All right, let's see. Okay, I think there's a tab. There's tabs. There's cutouts. Yeah, it's going to go like this. Yeah, it clicks into place. Make sure that's nice and flush. All right, we won't put it on yet. All right, let's do the mop roller. We can lift this up out of the way. This looks pretty clean. There's these little grooves that's going to slide on. I have to remember how this goes. Okay, yeah, it's going to go like. It's a little tricky. Find the grooves and these like this. Put it in underneath, and then that's what slides. All 3 of those. It just sits there. You see, it doesn't. Oh, it doesn't feel right. I'm pretty sure it's right. Yeah, it's right. It's like spring loaded. Okay, now, new brush roller. I can really tell there's a lot of fabric missing, or it just seems, this seems plush and thicker. This one seems pretty worn out. So it may be tempting not to replace it, but it does need replaced. It does come with this end on it already. Slide it in. You may have to rotate it a little bit till it goes all the way flush. Right here. Click. Good. I don't think the cover comes off. Maybe it does. No, I don't want to mess with it. All right. On to these. Well, do a little bit of work. So find the red one that slides onto the red one. Click into place. Same with the gray. Slides onto this first. Red one goes on the left. Find the arrows. Yeah, there's a L. Go in at an angle, and it drops down. Find the R. Go in at an angle, and it slides in. The door, put the front fingers in first, kind of move it back and forth, rotate it, click it into place. Those are both clicked into place. Now take your dirty water tank, again, that's nice and flush. Clicks into place. We're gonna do dustbin. Lift this up. We gotta click this into place. Yeah. So there's a seal side that goes down towards the door, and there's these two little ears, and there's little receptacles for them. Find the receptacles, rotate that down, click it into place. Nice and flush. Okay, we're going to put it in. Kind of clicks into place, but it's nice and flush. And finally, wow, that cleaned up very nice. Turn it on, hold that button for about 5 seconds. Click on the settings button, go to maintenance. We're going to reset these reminders. So the filter, I did replace it. No, actually, I did replace it. Hit reset. Main brush, I didn't replace it, so I'll leave that. Side brush, ooh, only 8% left. I mean, they looked fine to me. I'll go ahead and reset it. Sensors, I did clean these. You're resetting the timer. Mop, replace as needed. Onboard dirty water tank, that's red. I haven't cleaned that for a while. I cleaned it. Cleaning tray. Doesn't really tell you how to do it, just hits reset. Dust bag, replace as needed. Okay, we're good to go. Okay, let's go over cost to own, cost to do all the maintenance. This is one of the most expensive ones to operate. Yearly cost, $318. Dust bags are cheap, but you need 5 of them or 6 of them a year for $30. Filters, $17 a piece. Side brushes, maybe I don't need that many. Mop pad, you definitely will need the mop rollers every 2 months. $95 for a year. Main brush, yep. Solution, that's the Shark Vac Mop solution. There is no kit, and there's no generics yet. There will be more eventually, but. So total cost, $318. Cost per month, $26 per month. You can find all of this on my website, justadadapproved.com, along with the 3-month real world test score, and along with the data card. These are the things that I think are appropriate for comparisons. So again, my very next video, I'm going to be placing the Just a Dad Approved sticker on it, but it's going to have a but. This robot is not for everybody. And I couldn't put my thumb on it until I did this video. I just realized that while this robot is amazing, it's complex. That is one of the most complex cleaning procedures. You know, I don't know that I would want to give my mom or my mother-in-law this robot and tell them to do all of that maintenance. It is pretty complex. So I think I'm going to change that score a little bit right there. But it does very well. It mops great, carpet cleaning's okay, great obstacle avoidance. It has some of the best AI in my ad versus reality. So this is a great robot. I just couldn't put my finger on it. I love the Mova P10 Pro. I just did the Gen 2 video on this, and I just couldn't figure out, like, why isn't this, like, why don't I think this is the best robot ever? Well, it's heavy and it's kind of complex, but it actually does a really good job. So I've got the Roborock Saros 20. It's at the studio. It's getting ready to go to my home. I did the first look on it. I got the Dreamy X60. There's 2 X60s. There's the Max Ultra and the Ultra. I've got both of them. Brand new Dyson Spot Scrub. It's pretty cool, kind of expensive. Not the best, but it's got some pretty cool features. The Shark UV Reveal has a great UV sensor in an old robot body and app. So while they'd spent a lot of money on this sensor, which I've never seen one that good, it's kind of an old robot. I just finished up with the Mova P10 Pro. I did a comparison with the original P1 or P10 Pro, and I did all the maintenance on the Gen 2. So again, everybody, check out the website. If you saw anything in this video that you liked or want to know how to do the maintenance or what parts I used or tools, justadadapproved.com. The website's kind of simple right now. It's getting completely revamped. I'm so excited for it. It's going to have all the information there. So rest assured, when a robot has the Just a Dad Approved sticker on it, you can find the how to set it up, how to do the maintenance, how to clean it. Again, thanks everybody. If you could, check out my website, justadadapproved.com. More exciting videos coming. The very next video, I'm just going to tell you what I actually think about this robot really quick instead of kind of combining it. Let me know what you think. This video, I think, needs to be for people that just want to see how to clean it. It's kind of extensive. I don't know that I necessarily want to talk about why I love it. I mean, I kind of do a little bit anyway, but I'll do a dedicated video on, hey, it just received the Just a Dad Approved sticker. That's going to be a separate video now. So let me know what you think. I'm always open to suggestions. I've learned the most from comments, so I do appreciate everybody's comments. I just learned something today. I forget what robot, but somebody left a comment. I'm like, yep, that's exactly what I was wanting to know. So thanks, everybody. JustADadApproved.com, and thanks for watching.